Episode 4 of Two Dum Yinzers, we have our very first commercial, Letters of Inspiration, and Steelers Talk. Now, on Two Dum Yinzers.
Hey guys, you see the Steeler game the other day?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
Mason Rudolph still looks like a scared little lost puppy. He almost got Najee Davenport broken in half, which you don't want to do with your star rookie running back. Starting D did not look that good, especially inside linebackers. So I'm glad to see, during that game, they were able to make the trade with Jacksonville, snatch up that inside linebacker. Former Pro Bowler, he's getting better year after year, more interceptions.
I put together a little five
right.
talking points I want to talk about that I noticed from the game. Number one, I absolutely love, and I say this about all running backs, and it's one thing that I always look at whenever I'm talking about Steelers running backs, is the running back fall forward.
Yes.
And that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
You see the guys that fall forward, they're usually the guys that are, the forerunners in the league as far as everything. They just, they're made to do these things, and
Yeah, that's the difference between a first down or have to punt on 4th and inches.
Absolutely, and if the guy falls forward every single time, and it's an extra yard and a half, that's probably an extra 50 yards a game, give or take.
Easy.
And that could be the difference.
Yeah.
Number two, Haskins, smooth as ice.
His pocket presence, nothing seemed to rattle him.
It's funny that all the talking heads in this town and everyone that wants to talk about the Steelers never take Rudy out of that second spot.
No, they're enamored with him because the team says he's good. It seems like it's like, oh, well, we have to continue to have access, so let's pump this guy up so we can still go in there and talk to everyone.
I mean, instead of using your own sense, a lot of people that are football fans, they play football, they've been fans for a real long time, and instead of using their sense and saying, you know what, Haskins is head and shoulders better than Rudy in so many ways. Okay, you want to use this guy in the future and have him as your quarterback. Yeah, that's a good idea to work toward, have him sit in a bottom quarterback spot and get a little bit better every year. But if you have a man like Haskins, who was actually, he was a good pick, a first-round pick. He was good out of college. He went and played for Washington, who didn't really have much going on.
Oh, no.
And he still went out there and managed to have a productive season.
Yeah. Like, everyone wants to point to, Rudolph was 5-2 when Ben first went out. But they don't want to talk about how the Steelers won those 5 games.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't Rudolph bringing him down.
It was him checking down, and checking down some more.
And then you eventually get to the point where everyone knows that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And you can't do it anymore.
He's had a couple good throws this preseason. That's it. He has not led the team to a single touchdown. Granted, yes, he's going up against the number ones of the other team so far in the preseason, but he's had the number ones. He's had Deontay. He's had Claypool. He's had Juju. Dwayne's he's going against the number 2s and 3s with number 2s and 3s and leading them to scoring drives. He's doing what he needs to do. Rudolph is not.
If you don't have Ben at 1, Haskins at 2, and Rudy and Dobbs fighting for number 3, I'm not going to say you don't know about football, but, come on. Why wouldn't that be?
Exactly. You're seeing what you want to see.
Exactly. No one's coming out and saying that this Haskins is going to be the quarterback of the future. You know what? If he ends up doing really good and does become that, great. But the fact that they're not discrediting Rudy's bad performances is what drives me crazy.
Well, that's what everyone loves about Mason is you watch his drop back. He hits that back foot, plants, and then will throw once he figures out where he wants to throw to. Where Haskins throws flat-footed, they're more impressed with his mechanics than his overall game. And
he looks like he belongs out there.
Yeah, you can teach mechanics. You cannot teach talent.
Rudy just he
doesn't
still,
have the
after,
talent.
3 years looks terrified.
Well, either 3 or 4 years. I don't know. I just don't see it. He looks scared in the pocket. He has no pocket presence. The pocket will collapse. He stands there. Haskins, he feels the pocket collapse and will move appropriately. He's not the fleetest of foot, but he still has that pocket presence to know when to slide left, right, back, push forward or not.
Number 3, Alex Highsmith.
Oh, God. So impressive.
From what I see so far, with not having Watt on the other side and, having an ideal situation, Highsmith's coming through.
Yeah, he's
against first teamers.
Yeah, he's not at the Bud Dupree level, but I can see him getting there by the end of the year as that nice complementary number 2 pass rush. And I'm sorry, but T.J. Watt needs that. We saw when Bud got hurt and he had to face the majority of the blocking scheme, his numbers went down. He was not a force later in the season.
I don't have anything bad to say about Highsmith. However, I want to see him do well, and I don't want to hang around if he doesn't do well. If we're around 5 and the 6th week of the season, and we're starting to find that, oh wow, he needs to work on this, he needs to work on that. I hope that this coaching staff makes adjustments like other teams do around the league, because adjustments need to be made.
Well, and I think that's why they brought in Melvin Ingram.
Big pickup.
Oh, he was a Pro Bowler up until last year because he had some injuries that nagged. But if they're no longer nagging injuries and he's back to full health, he's a great backup to have in case of Highsmith not panning out, or if T.J. Watt's soft holdout becomes an actual holdout. We have 2 established. We can have 2 pretty good edge rushers.
Number 4, we have a punter competition. We have a punters competition on this team. I've seen quarterback competitions. I've seen running back competitions. I've seen competition at corner, play, position on defense. We now have a punter competition.
And I hope, personally, Harvin wins.
You know what? I do too.
Because we've seen what Barry can do his entire career, and it's inconsistent at best. And I think the only reason he's punting this well is because he watched that first Hall of Fame game with Harvin, like 3 or 4 great punts. So he knew he had to step up, but what if he loses that competition? Because he's never had this type of competition before.
You're right.
He's had the job, or he's been cut, and then we brought him back because the punter brought in to replace him did not pan out.
I like the rookie. He looks like a Steeler to me. I'm going in the favor of the rookie. Number 5. We started 2-0 in the preseason. Is that a good thing, or does it matter? Does it not matter?
Some people say if you go 0-4, 0-3 in the preseason, whatever, oh, that's not good. That's going to be a bad omen because you haven't won. But then they turn around and say, oh, well, you went 4-0, 3-0 in the preseason. That doesn't mean anything. Like, it's nice to, get some wins, quote unquote, learn how to win, which is a stupid phrase you hear all the time in sports. You have to learn how to win. You've been doing this forever. You should know how to win. But for me, the preseason, I look at individual performances and overall team. Did you improve week after week? You don't have to win in the preseason to guarantee success in the regular season, because teams have gone undefeated in the regular or in the preseason, and then have completely tanked in the regular season. And you have had to go the opposite way.
We had that once. I remember about 20 years ago. It was in the late 90s. We had a 5-0 preseason, and we ended out, I think we looked like maybe one game over 500. It was one of the late 90s coward games.
Yeah, I remember like one year, like the Bengals went out like perfect in the preseason. People thought they were going to be legit, losing season. So to me, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because you can be winning like with your first, second string in there, then your third and fourth string comes in and has an epic meltdown. That's not reflective of the overall team from the beginning of preseason to the start of the season, because your roster is going to change so much. You go from 75 players down to 53, that's 20-some people off your roster that are not going to play.
Does this mean anything to you, 2-0 right now?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, it's nice to say, hey, my team has won 2 games, but to me, it means nothing.
We got Detroit this week at home, and Ben's going to play a little bit.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's good. You need to get some reps in the preseason just to more or less get your body back into that football speed. He's been in this game for so long. He doesn't need a whole half, even a whole quarter. 1 or 2 series, get him in, get him out.
They say this every year, Mike, and they say that he's a veteran and he's won Super Bowls, and he's a top-ranked quarterback. Does he need to participate in the preseason? And we all say, no, what, these veterans, they don't have to. We would look back to Heinz Ward, it goes all the way back. And when Ben comes out the first 4 games and as flat as can be, Is there a correlation? Is there,
Well, this has happened before where he should play. He plays. He comes out and it's not that good in the first part of the season. Then he doesn't play and they'll be good. Or he plays all the time. They come out flat. Doesn't play, comes out flat. It fluctuates. It just every year is different.
How many seasons do you think Ben has left?
One. This is his last one.
This is it?
Like, if that offensive line doesn't improve, you kind of saw it in his face the past 2 years of just him getting hit again as much as he hasn't been hit this much since his first couple of years in the league.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's at 39. He's just like, why? Why am I putting up with this?
Right.
I think this might be his last year.
Who do we got in the last week? Carolina?
Yeah, last preseason game, Carolina for like the 20th year in a row, it feels like.
It sure does. Philadelphia and Carolina.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. I just want to. I want to cut her way real quick. I got to tell you guys something. Excuse me. Okay, how we're doing the show, and we have friends, we have family, we have all kind of people following us and supporting us and giving us their feedback. Well, my mom. Let me tell you about this. In the middle of the week. Now we put out last week on Monday night and Tuesday night at 12 o'clock.
Correct.
So my mom gets a hold of me on Wednesday and asks, how do I listen to your show? So I explained to her. I said, you go to Podbean, type in her name, and very simply you should be able to find it. So I texted her later that night. That might have been in the afternoon, and she says, I couldn't figure out how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll probably work on it tomorrow. So I gave her, some detailed instructions. I said, okay, when you get on tomorrow, this is what you do, and you're going to, be able to get on very, very easily and listen to it. So I didn't hear from her for a day. So 2 days later, I was like, I got to get this feedback.
Yeah.
And she says something along the lines of, I don't know what I'm doing. How could I get this? Now, at this point, we are on, it seems like 30 different platforms.
Yes.
We've expanded from the first week from Podbean to so many things, so many different things. Twitter,
YouTube, Spotify,
iHeart, Twitch, all that fun stuff. Not Twitch yet, but that's coming.
It's coming.
And she couldn't get on for anything. I don't understand. And I understand, older people, they shy away from technologies, but, they have cell phones, they have big screen TVs, they have iPads. Mm-hmm. What the hell's going on?
I don't know, just refusing to learn, have the patience to sit there and figure it out.
It almost is. I watch that at my my daytime job. We get new technology all the time, and it's all the veterans that refuse to learn to use it.
Yeah, it's because it's something new to.
That's something I do. I embrace like the minors and the younger people that come on due to their want to try out.
I could just picture the conversation between my mom and my dad trying to figure this out. Because he can't hear.
They fought.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting.
One-sided, obviously, if he can't hear.
Yeah, if he can't hear.
And that's the thing. They fought about this, yet she ended up yelling at him, no doubt.
It was his fault.
And he can't hear, so he don't know what the heck she's yelling at.
He don't know why he's in the doghouse.
That should be on one of our pages.
Yes. Let's record those two. And
yeah.
Mike, what was your mom's words about the podcast?
I don't know. I haven't heard back since I told her how to listen to the podcast. So either she is offended or hasn't listened to it, or we'll just wait to see me in person to talk about it.
She wanted to know how to watch it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she wanted to know how to watch the podcast. Well, you can quasi kind of watch it on YouTube. You can watch the levels go up and down as we talk.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, my mother wanted to watch the podcast. We don't video record.
We now try to share it and be friendly with all generations of easily tap-inable
But,
platforms.
It's the boomers, once again, making everything difficult for Gen X and millennials and Zoomers everywhere.
We have an amazing game that we're not going to play today.
Oh, thank God. They got nervous.
And the reason being is we had a guest in the other day, and the interview, it went off tracks. I'll give you that. I'm not giving it away. This is going to be on next week. You're going to love it.
Almost immediately, dear listeners.
And Yeah, it was almost immediate, went off track. And we planned on playing a game, and it was called Jack or Neil. And the premise of the game was we were going to present the contestant with either pictures of former Pittsburgh athletes with either the name Jack or Neil. And we presented her pictures one by one, and she was supposed to guess them. And we played that game. So I just want to let you know that was scheduled for today, but you will hear Jack or Neil next week. It's a hilarious game. Mike.
And the material leading up to and post Jack or Neil, quite entertaining. Yeah. We had so much though we could not squeeze it into this episode. So next week's episode is going to be special.
Let's just say this next week's episode is going to be a lot better than we thought it was going to be.
Yes.
We were, we had our minds going one way with it. It jumped track and went its own way.
And I think we're going to have to make it 2 episodes. All next week is going to be about that episode.
It might have to be all next week.
Maybe bleeding into the week after, or we might have 3 episodes next week.
Well, we are. I mean, we're interested in working towards, getting longer episodes, having more episodes per week, adding video, things like that. So the show is heading in that direction. We're growing. And possibly next week with this special episode, we'll call it for now, we might end up doing that and bleeding into the 3rd episode and going from there. So you are not going to want to miss this.
Yes.
Believe me, you are not going to want to miss this. I wouldn't want to miss it.
No.
I didn't miss it.
if you ever wanted to hear a train wreck live,
this is it.
Yeah,
and we're not just saying this to grab and pull you in. You are not going to want to miss this interview. This is one of the believe me.
Yes.
Watch. Listen.
Yes.
And last week, guys, we got to sit down and look at all the numbers and the engagements and likes and all that kind of stuff. We want to thank everybody who listened, everybody who participated, and everybody who supported us.
Yes.
And we want to say that we are just going to keep getting better and better every week, I promise you. And we want to thank you because the numbers were great. We were sitting down today looking over them, and very good stuff. Again,
yes.
I think better than we could.
Oh my God!
Imagine, yeah.
I thought it would take us like a month or 2 to hit where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a special thank you to Antoine, Prime Cine.
No, Prime and Dust. Absolutely.
Oh my God! You guys promoting us everywhere, linking everyone back to us. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Every time I turned around, it seemed like everything that Prime Cine was doing, our name was connected.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, and we want to thank you for that, Prime. That was awesome, man. Thank you. Another thing that we also seen this week when we were going through numbers from last week, we had 99% of you guys, gave us good feedback, or even if it wasn't good feedback, it was something positive for us to go on. However, there was a very small percent of people.
Always.
And I don't know what their problems are. I mean, these were some rude ass people. But anyway.
They might be jagoffs.
And the listener from Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah.
He was something. He came on.
He's our buddy. He's our number one fan.
He wrote one of our taglines.
Yeah.
Yeah, his negativity, we turned it into a positive and turned it into the beginning of one of our earlier episodes. I believe Mike said something along the lines of a meth needle.
Coming at you hot like a meth needle on the first of the month.
So this guy, he gets on and he's messaging and, and he's like, look at these lamos, blah, blah, blah. And it was all good. And you know what? I didn't stab back at him yet. I sat back and, he made the meth needle,
yes,
and that their reference and a couple other things.
We learned a new word that session.
What was that?
Chomo.
And there was.
We had to be taught.
Yeah, Mike had to tell us what chomos were.
Thank you,
weirdo.
Thank you, Prison TikTok, for enlightening us what chomo meant.
Here's my thing: why isn't it chimo?
Thank you.
If it's child molester, shouldn't it be a chimo, not a chomo?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes, but chomo just rolls off the tongue better.
That's true. All right, moving on.
So what we did, we had, like I said, we had a bunch of great feedback. Thank you everybody so much. However, the few that we got that were negative, we decided to throw into a bag of a giant eagle bag and start the weekly session of bag of jagoffs. This is going to be called bag of jagoffs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this bag. And then I'm going to pick a name. I'm going to pick one out of here, and this is going to be our jag-off of the week.
All right.
Okay?
Love it.
All right. Here we go. Drum roll. Okay?
What we got?
This guy right here, this is our jag-off of the week. We pulled this out of our bag of jag-offs, and this guy here says, quote, "You're too dumb. Why don't you go to school?" End quote.
I give that a.
Wait, was his quote too dumb, like as in the number 2?
No, he wasn't even like that. He wrote it out. Yeah.
I'm gonna give that a 1. That was a poor quality attempt at a troll or a hateful comment. That was just terrible.
It was something like a teacher would say.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Not realizing we're that play on words. We took the B off. That word.
Too dumb. Go to school. We did. We all did.
We all did. Graduated high school. Graduated college.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
We're past that.
Yeah. This guy's lame.
Lame.
So
he's sad, lonely, pathetic.
Yeah.
So this fella is our bag of jag-offs, jag-off of the week. All right, looks like we have a call, Mike. What do we have over
here? Looks like we have Homer. Homer's on the line.
Homer from Punxsutawney. Go ahead, Homer.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Well, why haven't the Steelers signed T.J. Watt?
Well, I mean, it's
$100 million. Give it to him.
Well, you got to understand, sir, that Big Ben don't even make that money. He's a
Big Ben. What's Big Ben done, huh? It's all T.J. Watt.
So T.J. Watt's going to line up under center and
the Watt brothers can do no wrong. T.J. Watt. Pay him what he wants.
If you give him what he wants, you're not going to have money to pay anybody else on the team. We're going to be a bad team in 3 years.
You could have, as long as you have T.J. Watt and Robert Spillane, you're golden.
Robert Spillane, he's a solid linebacker, but, do you really see this guy being a part of anything moving forward?
Yes, I do. He's that big thumping middle linebacker.
And this is what gets me about people and fans and the talking heads now. We're not going in a direction to build a championship team. We're just kind of put a team together to stay competitive, and that is what kind of pisses me off about the Steelers sometimes. You have the feeling when they go into a season and you feel that there's a chance. I hate going into Steelers season and feeling that my team does not have a chance, and that's what I get from this team.
As long as we start T.J. Watt, Robert Spillane, we will win.
Yeah, I mean maybe we'll put T.J. Watt in the backfield and Spillane the receiver.
Hey. He's so much better than Ben. He's better. I was going to say Juju, but we all know Juju is the greatest receiver ever. He's out there dancing, making his TikToks, having fun. TJ's out there resting in the fourth quarter to help the team because he knows that Big Ben, who chokes, who's never won a thing, will win. TJ Watt is a winner.
Let me ask you something. Are you single?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Homer,
I was going to try to hook you up with somebody that we had in for an interview yesterday. But that's not going to work then.
Oh, I see how it is. Homer calls in, spitting the hot takes. Oh, T.J. Watt's the greatest player ever and deserves. You know what? Forget the $100 million. Let's go 150.
Bye.
Hey, man. Thanks, Homer, for calling.
Bye.
Very passionate. I hope Homer will make a second appearance.
He will.
I think Homer's in the bar. I'm sure he'll make a second call before the day is over.
Well, if Homer is from Western PA, he is definitely in a bar right now. Staggering down the hill.
We should throw him in the bag of Jagoffs.
I don't know, man. Homer seemed like an alright kind of guy.
Yeah, no, Homer's alright. That's Homer.
Passionate. He's a passionate fan.
He's a passionate fan that knows nothing. And that's 90% of the people in my town.
Yeah, I was going to say that's 90% of the Steelers fan base.
Seems like it. Excuse me. So a fan did right.
I like how he burps into the mic. Coughs away, says excuse me.
I got something nice from the fans the other day. Some fan sent this in.
So nice.
It's called A Letter of Yinspiration. A Letter of Yinspiration.
Studio's falling apart. I'm sorry.
And I want to read this to you. It's really nice. You guys ready?
Yep.
Excuse me. The other day, I went to the Giant Eagle downtown. pulled out my list and started to fill my buggy. I made sure to get pierogies, jumbo, chip chop ham, city chicken, Klondikes, a Clark bar, and a 6-pack of Iron City. Oh yeah, and I needed to make dippy eggs and that for the kids. A nebby woman in flip-flops, not paying attention, pushed her buggy into a pallet of pop. 3 workers rushed to red up. So now I'm about to check out. I have my Advantage card in hand, and a Permani's Brother gift card caught my eye. And I said, Ian's got these for $20? And the woman without putzing around said, there you go. So I got all my groceries loaded into the car. For a moment, I considered stopping to whoosh my car, but remembered we have the spigot on the garage. I just got to clear the Jagger bushes out and carry them down to the creek. So I started over the bridge, turned on DVE, and headed back to the house to watch the Steelers. I made exactly time for kickoff, sat back on my chair, and embraced another day of being a Yinzer from the Burgh, where everyone bleeds black and gold. Pittsburgh, the Steel City, the city of bridges, or whatever you call it, is what I call home. I wouldn't trade it for anything. That's it, Fort Pitt.
Now that is
That's beautiful.
that's a true Yinzer.
And that is some Yinzer mail
Would
from
you say the name of it was?
a letter of Yinspiration.
Love it.
Love it. I think we need to make that a new segment. If our listeners would like to email us,
Ooh.
yeah. Our email is to, as in TWO, Yinzers at gmail.com.
Dumb.
TWOYINZERS.
What about dumb?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's TWODUMYINZERS at gmail.com.
Mike decided just to display dumb instead of saying it.
I did. So the key thing is I do all the editing. So yeah, I think this should be a new weekly segment where our listeners
at gmail.com.
Dum Yinzers at gmail.com. That is spelled TWODUMYINZERS at gmail.com.
And I got to take a trip down to the Mac machine. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome to Two Dum Yinzers. What can I get for you today?
Yeah, give me a triple cheeseburger with bacon meal with Diet Coke, light on the ice, and make that upsize.
Would you like some ketchup for your fries today, ma'am?
No. If I change my mind, I have some Hunts in the fridge.
Sir? Where the hell do you go?
Sir, what are you doing? Get up!
Maybe next time you keep your whore mouth shut.
That's right. Here at Two Dum Yinzers, we take our ketchup seriously. It's Heinz or nothing. Don't be a Hunt cunt. All right, welcome back from the break. Let that be a reminder to you. Do not buy Hunt. Heinz only. All right, back from the break. Our third wheel, she's passed out on the couch. She cannot drink and podcast. So I think it's time we pivot back to the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking that it's going to take to get this team to be one of the top contenders in the top-heavy AFC North?
In all honesty, it comes back to that offensive line. You create running lanes for Najee. You create a pocket for Ben. We have the skill position. We have the talent there. It's just, is that offensive line going to block well enough to allow them to shine?
What I see, especially over the past few years since the Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, since all that stuff went down, even when we were 11-0 last season, it didn't seem that this team was gelling. And even when we were 11-0 last year, it didn't seem like the receivers were, the issue we had down the road in the last 6 games where the receivers were really having a hard time bringing the ball in. Even when we were 11-0, this was a problem. I don't know if you recall, there was drop balls, and we lost. I mean, we won plenty of games throughout the early part of the season that was, won by other things. It wasn't these receivers making amazing plays, getting to the end zone, and winning football games. It was, a series of other things. Well,
right now we're seeing they have better hands now in the preseason. Like Deontay's catching everything coming to him. Like Chase had one drop, but he's got everything else. Juju is holding on to the ball. He's not fumbling away the game anymore. So that's a good sign.
I mean, on paper, with these receivers that we have,
we should be.
There's no reason we should be in contention.
I'm sorry, like 1 through 4, you go Claypool, Johnson, Juju, and Washington.
And then you have the tight ends.
Yes, Ebron, and then if Freiermuth lives up to billing as well.
So you take those
solid, and then Najee in the running game, and he can catch out of the backfield too.
So that's what I'm saying with this top ranked defense and this offense that has ample weapons. It seems to me that the Achilles heel would be the offensive line, like you said.
It is, and I'm sorry, it's not an impressive group. We have Zach Banner starting at right tackle, who's done nothing in the league except be tackle eligible and became a cult hero in Pittsburgh, and everyone thinks he's going to come in and be this solid offensive lineman. He has, I think, maybe one full start in his NFL career. He's done nothing.
You know what lineman I thought you had a call following? Guy Whimper.
Oh,
with a name like Guy Whimper.
Guy Whimper.
Everybody should like him.
Should like Guy Whimper. But no, like this offensive line, hopefully Kendrick Green can go in and fill that Marquise Pouncey role. Hopefully Marquise from his prime, because Marquise's last couple of years in the league was not that good.
So, I mean, you take Pouncey out of there. You take DeCastro out of there.
Yeah.
You take Villanueva out of there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a group of veterans that were, they didn't do the greatest job the past season or two, but now you have to replace that, and you're putting younger people in there.
Yeah.
And hoping that they could.
Well, hopefully with Kevin Dotson, whatever issues he was dealing with early in the preseason, he's back out there now. Hopefully he can take over that starting role again, because he was our best offensive lineman when he played last year.
Do you see anybody on special teams becoming somebody that could be a special teams threat in a sense? Somebody that could return punts to the house, somebody that could return kickoffs to the house, somebody that could, get us good starting position.
Like last year, Ray McLeod. Yeah, he flashed that ability, but
he did.
He had a couple fumbles, but hopefully, he can bounce back from that. Right now, this preseason, I forget his name, but he had a couple good kickoff returns in the first 2 games. Kickoffs or punt returns,
who was that
returns.
guy?
I can't remember, but he was pretty good.
You know who else did that? Remember, I don't know, probably about 10 years or so. A guy named Stephon Logan.
Yeah.
He come out in the preseason, and this guy was just, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was every game, I think, in the preseason, he took something back to the house.
Yeah. Or had a damn good return. Well, that's just, we've had, even under Cowher, I remember, like our kickoff games, it was only here and there. Antoine Renoel would have a good return. AB would have some good returns, but then they became established players, and you don't want them back there. And it's feast or famine with the Steelers for as long as I can remember as being a fan.
I mean, think about it. Besides for, maybe Antonio Brown, Randall, but before that, you had to go like Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson. And then you didn't want him out there because he was the best cornerback in football.
Yeah. Some of these other teams, they just find these guys and stick them back there, and they
it's
become,
just for 40 years, it's like it's been a curse for the Steelers.
And you wonder, what makes these guys so special? Is it the vision that they have out on the field? Because you're in the NFL, and everybody around you is just as fast, just as strong, and just as athletic as you are. What makes somebody?
I want to say it has
special.
Big part of it is speed.
Absolutely.
Like Devin Hester, who can fly, but he also had that vision, and he had like that sixth sense. He could feel where a crease was going to come from. He knew exactly when, where to move, and he had the ability, the agility, and the dexterity, and that body mechanic to just make that quick little
Devin
twitch
Hester
here.
Was something else, wasn't he?
If he should be in the Hall of Fame.
What happened to him? He returned about 30 kickoffs and then he retired or something.
Yeah, he had a real good career as a returner, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame for that. He was the best kick returner of his generation, and that is a huge part of the game. Special teams is a third of the game. But he should be in there. He was one of the greatest players of all time. He just happened to be a returner.
You know who was special with that position a lot of people don't talk about? And if you think about it, you say, oh, wow, yeah, he really was. Remember prime time when Dion used to return kicks and punts?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was special.
Yes.
You know?
Well, like it was him. Then for the longest time, you had to wait till Devin Hester, and his name's slipping my mind. He was down in Kansas City.
Oh, the human joystick.
Yes.
Hall? No. Hill? No.
Hiller. Oh God, I can't remember. Let me take a look. Let me look him up because the human
He
joystick.
was another one,
He
yeah.
was one of the greatest.
Yeah. And too bad Kansas City doesn't have him on this team now, man.
Oh my!
They'd be unstoppable.
With him and Mahomes.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think I want to say Hall. Mike is looking up right now.
Oh, I'm getting. Yeah, Dante Hall.
Dante Hall.
Yeah, Dante Hall.
Yeah. And where did he go? What happened to him?
I don't know.
It's like these specialists that come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're
amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing
numbers.
at that, but like as receivers, they're
third, fourth, fifth.
If for like fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
But hey, that's okay. They're contributing more on special teams than they would as a wide receiver.
What Steeler would you like to see back there returning? If you could take a receiver or whatever.
Deontay Johnson.
Yes.
I'd love to see him back there, but I don't want to risk injury to him.
Right.
This guy, I think he's valuable. Like Ben trusts him a lot. Even like last year when he was dropping balls, Ben would still go his way.
Yeah.
Because early in the year, he was that guy. He was the one who was catching everything.
One that I'm really excited about is Claypool.
Oh, God. Yeah, he has all the tools.
He's going to be so much fun to watch.
Hopefully now, like a whole year under his belt, they kind of like managed his snaps last year so he wouldn't hit the rookie wall. It helped later in the season, but we needed him in that stretch when we were, 1-4. But I think this year, him playing all 16 games, it wouldn't surprise me if he's
17 this year.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he's like top 10, top 15.
Over under 3. Claypool making the All-Pro team. Third season, over or under. He's in his second this year.
I want to say by next year he'll be an All-Pro.
3 years, you think he'll be an All-Pro?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough because there's a lot of good receivers in this league.
I think he's going to do really well and maybe get shafted a year.
Actually,
and then the next year
he'll get it.
He'll get it easily.
Yeah. This year he might put up the numbers and not get it next year if Ben retires and there's not a good quarterback and he puts up halfway decent numbers. I think he'll get more consideration.
Yeah. The thing that drives me crazy. You just mentioned Ben. You say he does go down this year. I'm not even in a mood for this controversy with the.
I don't think either one's it will matter because that means if Ben got hurt, that means that line is not playing as well as we needed to, and whoever's back there.
And could you imagine a line that can't block for a veteran like Ben blocking for Rudy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mr. Happy Feet.
Yeah.
I've never seen a quarterback with worse pocket presence.
No, he's a polished turd.
Yeah.
That concerns me because I don't want to be sitting there if Ben goes down, blows a knee, a rib, whatever, and have to listen to that because you know as well as I do Haskins should be in there.
Yeah.
The other guy is not ready. He's not ready.
No.
You watching the same games that we're watching? This kid's not ready.
No, and to me it all goes back again too. He's not led a scoring drive.
Ugh.
I don't care if he's running with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s against the 3s and 4s. You still have to lead your team to a scoring drive.
At some point, do something.
Yeah.
This is the league that you're trying to, make the position, and you're not doing anything.
No.
We could sit here around here and keep making excuses. Well, he's playing the front. Well, you know what? That's who he's going to have to play if he gets in.
Exactly. I don't care if you're playing against 4-stringers. You should be scoring against them. Haskins scoring against the level that he's out there with, and he's out there with the lesser running backs, the lesser
Haskins
wide receivers.
The top level when he was in Washington for a couple seasons, and you know what I mean. He played. He didn't
have the greatest success there, but that franchise ruined RG3's career.
That franchise ruins many careers.
Yeah.
Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders, anybody that went there to have their career die.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. And to be quite honest, I don't know why anybody else would think that either the other two guys would be ready to step up and be that guy.
I heard someone on the radio say Josh Dobbs should be the one that they go to if Ben gets hurt.
He's the only one that's proven less than Ruby did.
Yeah, we traded him to Jacksonville. He could not beat out Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, and he somehow got back.
And then he came back. He's brilliant. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to football, but he just doesn't have the ability to do it. He does not have that ability.
He has the potential to be the Charlie Batch on his team.
I wouldn't even.
In a sense of,
we
like having him around. And on the sideline, a lot of times quarterbacks would go talk to Charlie.
He is that guy.
Dobbs is that guy because a lot of times you see Ben come off the field and he goes over to Dobbs and starts talking and asking questions.
And not the backup.
Right, not the backup. I wouldn't ask Rudy nothing either.
No. I wouldn't ask him where the restroom is.
No. And
I want to tell you, another player I am impressed with this preseason, Anthony McFarland, running back 26.
Yeah.
He did last year. He didn't have a preseason like a lot of these rookies did not, and he looked lost in any game action we put him in. He was supposed to be that faster back, that change of pace. This year he came back and he looks bigger, he looks stronger, more decisive in his runs.
When you were
his development from last year to this year has been amazing.
When you and I were talking the other day, we were talking about third down backs.
Yeah.
And I think what brought it up was we were talking about Jalen Samuels. And we were just, where is he at on his team? I mean, the guy's been around for about 4 or 5 preseasons now, and, during the season, realistically, you don't see this guy.
Yeah, but yet he'll pop every once in a while for a good game to give you that.
We need a third down back. We need a back that's going to come in when Najee comes off the field, and we're confident that this guy's going to catch a swing pass out of the backfield, maybe run out one of the weird option type things to pick up a first down. You know who was perfect at that? Mueldy Moore.
Oh.
If we would get a back.
In that similar mold, yeah.
Yeah. And Mueldy, even when he came over here, we thought, what's this? I mean, we already got running backs. But that guy came in and did everything a third down back was supposed to do. And he's probably my favorite third down back that I can remember for the Steelers. When was the last time somebody came through and was that productive?
Yeah, that was just especially for that that position,
Yeah.
Because other than him, the best one we had was Bell, but he was just a 3-down back.
Yeah, right.
You can do it all. And hopefully Najee will be that back to where he's your first, second, third down back.
Right.
But if we need, if he needs a breather, you bring in.
I mean, you don't want to run his wheels off either.
Yeah, you bring in McFarland in.
So which one of these guys, this pool of guys, is going to be that back that comes in?
I think McFarland, and then I don't think Samuels makes the team. Or I bet Samuels will make the team.
It's almost like Samuels has something on somebody.
No, and then, oh, God. Running back out of Kentucky, I forget his name. Benny Snell.
Yeah, Benny Snell.
Benny Snell.
He had a really good preseason last year.
No, he'll come in he had, when Connor got hurt, like how Connor always did. He came in, he filled in pretty well, and then they went right back to Connor, and then he just went to tank the rest of the year. So I don't think he makes it. I think the free agent running back, Belange, or whatever his name is. I really don't care. That's how much I care about him. I think he makes the team.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about him after the first game.
Yeah, he played well, but to me, he's just going to be another body on the team, and I think it'll be Najee and McFarland.
Yeah, that's nice.
This guy might be maybe a short yardage back, but you're hoping Najee can be that back too.
Week 1, Buffalo Bills.
It's going to be a rough one.
We're up there too, aren't we?
Yeah. That's the team that has been building for years to get to where they are.
Yeah.
And that's,
like literally almost 30 years.
Yeah, that's the beauty of picking in the top 15 every year.
You're right.
And Jared Allen, he's a beast.
Hey, he really is, man. I seen him. Did you see this the other day? There was footage of him. He goes around the whole entire football field before, during pregame, and he'll stand there about 15 yards off from where the bleachers are, and he throws the ball, and a kid will catch it in the front row, and then the kid, after catches it, turns and throws it back to Allen. Mm-hmm. Allen goes about another 10 yards, does it again, throws it to another kid in the front row. They throw it back to him. He does this the whole way around the field before the game. Talking about building you know what I mean?
Building that relationship with the fans.
Yes. No wonder these guys love, the fans up there love these guys. On top of, producing in football games, look at that relationship that
Yeah.
this quarterback's building.
Well, that and Bills fans they're a different breed.
They are a different breed.
Have
They
you-
are the only breed whose team went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row.
and lost all 4.
They lost all 4.
That explains like why when you go to their tailgates, they're crashing each other through tables.
It's like an ECW event.
Yes. I'm waiting for Paulie to come out and start commentating. But no, I think that Week 1 game is going to be rough.
It is. You know what? If we come out and win Week 1, then you can start saying, okay, this is a good start.
Yeah.
A lot of times they pin us up. They pin the Steelers up against these really good teams in the first week of the season. And, sometimes we get blown out. It's just the nature of the beast. And, I remember a couple of games against the Ravens, I think like a 38-0 or something like that. So Week 1 scare me, especially when you put these teams in who are meant to do something, who are a better quality team. I'd like to keep getting the Bengals first game of the season.
Me too, although they did beat us last year.
Yeah.
I know, right? But they are the Bengals.
I tell you what, at that point in the season, is there anybody that would have had trouble beating us? Those last 5 games.
It was just like the entire team forgot how to play.
We could have got beat by Adam Sandler led Pittsburgh Steeler team before the movie Longest Yard.
Yeah, I even think the meme machine wanted to beat us.
The meme machine. Hey,
the way we were playing.
You don't take anything away from the meme machine.
So, Steelers' first 4 games: Bills, then the Raiders, Bengals, and then the Packers.
Where's the Raider game at?
It is in Pittsburgh.
Okay, well that's a plus.
Yeah, and the Packers game is in Green Bay. Bengals are at home as well.
I'm not scared of Green Bay, and I don't think Pittsburgh teams really ever are.
No.
Yes, they do have the Aaron Rodgers, effect, but you know what? Besides for that, I'm not scared of Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers and
Devontae Adams.
Oh God, Devontae Adams. He's top 5 easily.
So unless you go out there in the 22 people that are playing in a game, you let these 2 beat you.
Yeah.
I think we have just as good a chance of beating Green Bay as anybody. Yeah, there's something about them.
Yeah.
They're a little overrated in my opinion as a team.
It's because one, they're the Packers, and they're in the NFC North.
Yeah, right. The Bears. Speaking of NFC North, that's going to be a team that I think that makes a little bit of noise.
If Justin Fields turns out to be the real deal or not,
it's going to come down to what Justin Fields can do.
Because in college, you watch a lot of his stuff. He was that first read quarterback, lock on to that one guy and try and get him open. You can't do that in the pros. You got to be able to go through your progressions. But his first preseason game, saw some highlights on him. He looks like he's the real deal.
I tell you what, the NFC North is going to be, it's going to be tough. A lot of people are, between the Packers, the Bears. You never know with the Vikings. You never know what you're going to get.
I don't know. With Kirk Cousins, he's so overrated.
Yeah.
He's that Alex Smith, safe, dependable, West Coast quarterback. He'll put up numbers, but at the end of the day, he's nothing spectacular.
And then Detroit, who, again, we see this coming week in preseason. I don't think they really have much going on up there.
No, really, they swap quarterbacks. That's about it.
Teams that do that. Yeah, they got Goff, right?
Yeah, they got Goff.
So we're going to get a chance to take a look at Goff. And
there's this.
I've never been impressed by him.
No. He got exposed in that Super Bowl.
13-3.
Oh, him and McVay. McVay was supposed to be that offensive genius, great play caller. He couldn't do shit.
He scored 3 points in a Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's ever scored 3 points in a Super Bowl or less.
San Diego, when they got destroyed by San Francisco?
I think they even scored more than that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what the numbers are, but I think...
I know it was one of the worst.
Because you figure nobody's ever got shut out.
Yeah.
So 3 points,
that's got to be the lowest.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
I'm excited.
Yeah, this Steelers season, it's going to be interesting, going to be exciting.
They got 2 weeks of preseason left. 2 weeks, and then it's 17 games.
Yeah.
So
I just can't wait to see what that final roster is going to shape up to be.
Yeah, I mean, you got a pretty good idea. Like you said, just a few of these players here, a few of these players there, like your Jalen Samuels, sorry, and a few guys that you spoke about. I mean, those are going to be the difference,
You know who your starters are. You know who your key backups are.
Right.
After that, it's like, are you going to carry an extra safety or an extra linebacker?
Right.
So at that point, if you get down to those guys, they're special teamers. If they have to start, if they have to play, season's over.
Yeah.
But you just hope they're solid enough on special teams to where they contribute there and hopefully down the line become a solid backup.
I want to see Devin Bush come back and have a solid season.
Me too, but I like the move of getting the linebacker from Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
that's big.
Former Pro Bowler, his career has just been solid. And setting, we give up a 6th-round draft pick for him. He's already practicing with the first team.
Yeah,
he's
got the green dot on his helmet.
He's already out there calling the plays already.
You can't. Yeah,
that's talent. That's football smarts. He knows what he's doing.
What can you tell me about Marsh, the fellow that got all the tattoos?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I remember seeing him a little bit late in the season last year.
That's about it.
I don't know what the Steelers
could be a backup. Could be it. Backup, special teams kind of guy.
Yeah. He looks like a special teamer.
He looks like a special teamer. I tell you what, that defensive line depth, it looks all really good this year.
Yeah.
A lot of guys coming through, like Carlos Davis. I think he made some plays. Even outside linebacker, who's it? Jameer Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, every time you look up at the screen, he was making a play.
Right.
So their front seven seems to be getting pretty good pass rush.
I think something's going to hurt us was the unexpected retirement of Vince Williams.
Well, yeah,
he was all over the field, man.
He was a good run guy, but I think that's why we went out and got the linebacker from Jacksonville, Schobert.
I don't think we're going to be disappointed with Sherbert.
Yeah, right.
We love Sherbert.
But yeah, he looks to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Because last year we had Vince Williams there. Dude, we picked up from the the Jets.
Yeah.
Avery Williams.
San Diego.
We got Melvin Ingram from San Diego.
Melvin Ingram.
Yeah. And then Trey Turner, the offensive guard. 2 former Pro Bowlers. Sherbert's a former Pro Bowler.
All right, one more important question here for you. They moved to a 17-game season. What's their record at the end of the year?
Whew.
And do they make the playoffs?
It's a tough one because right now I can see them going anywhere between 7-10 and 10-7. Being that bubble
more than
play.
that, no less than that. You're in that.
I'm in that range. That 7-10, 8-9, 9-8.
It almost feels
Yeah.
Like
it's going to be a rough one.
I mean, and the thing is, 10-7. Well, you do have the extra wild card spot now.
Yeah.
So that helps out. But 10-7 isn't going to guarantee you a wild card.
Right now,
it's going to guarantee you a playoff spot.
Yeah. I don't know if the AFC North can take 3 teams this year to the playoffs again.
You know what? If any division was going to do it,
I think it would be the North, but it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm leaning.
Unless you're somebody like your Dolphins and somebody out of that division ends up making a good run. I think the AFC North.
I can see 7-10 and missing the playoffs and
10-7 and
10-7 and I can even see 10-7 and just missing the playoffs.
Now, do you see this team going any further than the first round of playoffs, provided they make it to the playoffs?
Right now, no. But if they progress the way they can, I can see them.
And how shitty is this, Mike? Because 5 regular season games ago, we were the best team in the league.
Yeah.
We were sitting there with an 11-0 record, which only X amount of teams have ever done in the history of the league. With, the sky is the limit.
But, a lot of it was the receivers couldn't catch.
That was so big.
The line, that everyone keyed in on the fact that this line can't pass block. You only have to rush 4 guys. You can drop everyone in the coverage and just get your hands up because Ben had to get the ball away so quick.
I've never seen 5 guys collectively drop passes the way that these guys did last year. I couldn't believe it. I don't even know.
And I think, too, that defense got exposed, which they have been for years. Like, Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, they have great talent, great players, but they shit the bed a lot. Lack of a better term, they tend not to show up a lot later in the season.
Now, there's another team that shows up on the schedule this year. Do you think that we will win or lose or tie against the New England Patriots? This is a team, New England, that beat us consistently for 20 years.
This will be the year we beat them because they don't have They don't have Brady.
We did that whenever they had Matt Castle.
Oh yeah, we went up
Remember
there and
that?
destroyed him in that game.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we could definitely take the Patriots this year.
because
Was it
Mac Jones really doesn't impress me. He had all that talent in Alabama.
And is he going to come out and figure out a way to beat the Steelers?
Yeah.
Between the lines with
I don't know. With our defensive coordinator, I think anyone can.
Yeah.
He's a stupid.
Where the hell's LeBeau at anyway?
Well, LeBeau was. I was never a big Dick LeBeau fan.
You didn't like the Blitzburg scheme?
I liked it, but after a while, it became predictable. And,
yeah.
And you just knew what was coming every single time.
And it was counterproductive because we used it, and then when a team like New England figured us out and continued to destroy us, we didn't change a thing.
Yeah.
That was so frustrating.
You could tell when that fire X blitz was coming a mile away. It was just it became predictable.
Yeah.
He deserves the Hall of Fame. He's a great defensive coordinator, but those last couple of years, it was typical. You knew what was coming every single time.
Is he in the league anywhere, or is he retired?
Last I saw, he was in Tennessee, but I don't know.
Behind his Geritol in Tennessee.
Dude's almost 80, and he looks in amazing shape.
Tell you what, he has Bud Dupree coming down there this year.
That was a good signing for them.
I like Bud. I think that's going to do a lot of good for them.
Talk about a player who everyone in this town, like the media, just wanted to call a bust.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, his last 2 years, they were just all over him. It just shows like how fickle the sports media is, especially in this town.
Fickle.
And it's how easy they are to just suck up to a player.
Yeah.
And just forget about everything that they said.
And you got to like Tennessee out of that division. I mean, with the exception of the Indianapolis and Phillip Rivers, that South really doesn't have a whole lot going on.
Who would have thought Ryan Tannehill would turn into this? I don't know. You get rid of get out of Miami. That seems to be a great career move.
Right. And then the West, I mean, obviously you're going to have Kansas City. And,
Do they take a step back this year after making back-to-back Super Bowls?
No. I mean, they're going to take a step back in the sense that they're going to win maybe one less game in the playoffs. It almost has the feel of like when Seattle went on their little 6-year run.
Yeah.
Any of these teams, you see this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
They start out, they're good, then they get really good, then they become unbelievable, and then they go the next year and they lose the NFC Championship game. And then they go the next year and maybe they
AFC, but that's Andy Reid effect. Like, kept losing all those NFC Championship games with the Eagles.
Yeah, right. And so I don't know. And for when I was at the NFC, I was talking about Seattle. But I see that happening with this team. Maybe, because they won, they lost. Maybe go to the AFC Championship game and lose in a crazy kind of game. Something and just kind of start to fade. But they're going to be good.
Yeah.
You have way too much talent in the league. That offense is.
In the West right now, the only real contenders are the Raiders.
And you know what? A lot of people are thinking the Raiders might have a pretty good year.
They had they had a decent year.
They did.
Well, at least against Kansas City, I think they split.
You know what? Denver wins football games. I'm not going to say that they can finish in a third or fourth, but you know what? They're going to win some games that you don't expect. And that's just something about Denver. They do that. And then the other team would be San Diego, or Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
The Chargers.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Up and coming
quarterback. Do they have anything else out there, though? I mean,
Keenan Allen, he's a damn good wide receiver.
Yeah. He's got to be old now.
He's not that old.
No.
He's old, but he's not that old. He still has gas in the tank.
Yeah. Well, before we go, my prediction. I agree with you. I think it's going to be somewhere between 7-10 and 10-7.
Yeah. I say last episode we record before the season starts. We get our official predictions. We can't do this wishy-washy between here and here. We got to put pen to paper. So right now we're both saying
it's going to be between them three, and I think getting into the playoffs is going to be a situation where we might need this team to win, this team to lose.
Yeah,
that's the kind of season I see. I think we have potential to be a better team than that and do bigger things, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Yep. And we're one injury away from having a
disaster,
a disaster season.
Yeah. So as far as Steelers, that's all I got.
Yeah.
I know we have Detroit this coming weekend, and I'll be ready for that. They're going to be on Saturday this week.
Maybe next week just give you a little recap before we get into the
Touch base. I mean, you figure we're getting a little closer to the season every day, so
I could give you guys some little more feedback about the Steelers before we get into our wild week of interviews.
hey, you are not going to want to miss.
Yes, you're not going to want to miss this one.
So for the two Dum Yinzers, I'm Ryan.
I'm Mike.
We are out.